Yeah, so people keep pointing out that my Ferris logo here doesn't make any sense, right? Because I'm doing React all the time right now. So, oh, my LaCroix looks awesome on the green screen. That's an unexpected benefit. Okay, so just gonna update the title of the stream here. To reflect what I'm working on, which is going to be keyboard navigation tonight, I think. So, I just wanted to pull up some docs. Oh, interesting. Well, keyboard codes are a thing I'm going to need. Tell me about this result, Google. Nothing interesting. Okay. Well, let's see. So I'm interested in the arrow keys. Left, right, up, down. 37, 38, 39, and 40. If you can all see that. So that's good. I'm actually just gonna jot those down real quick. I guess I'll do JavaScript, whatever. So up is 38. What is right is 39. Down is 40. Oh, and left is 37. Okay, so I got that. I will hold on to that. And there may be symbols already available attached to the synthetic event that React provides when passing off an event object to a handler. But maybe not. I don't know. But at least now I have something to compare to. Char code, key code, key. Yeah, I wonder what they provide. Well, I guess what I can do is once I have a handler set up, I can just watch what the events spit out. No point in digging too deep. All right. So if I want to listen for keyboard events, what I'd really like to do is to put an event listener as high up in the scene as I can put it. And I think I should be able to do something dumb, like attached to the body of the document. Let's see. Maybe I can do that. So like literally just going out to the document here. And this wouldn't really work if I wanted to make sure that my app was universal, which is, I guess, shorthand for saying could be rendered on the server. I don't know. I don't think DOM, like direct DOM references, are really legal in a lot of cases, but I'm gonna cheat. So I can register an event listener, and yeah, so it takes a type. Let's try key down, and then a function, which is going to take an event. And since this is like a regular event, actually this is going to be, yeah, this is not going to be a synthetic event, I don't think. This is going to be something else. So if I debug the event, I should be able to just take a look at them and let's see what it spits out. So there we go. So that's cool. By looking at the events here, we can see that the code is not actually the code that oh, there's key code 38, which matches what I have in my Scratch, I think, right? Yeah. But there's also this string of arrow up. Key code. So I'm going to just focus on that. And I'm going to keep my constants right here. And just so I can filter filter out the events that I don't care about, right? Because if there's another key firing, it's not going to matter. And so key code was one thing. Hold on. My Twitter just went apeshit on me with notifications, so I'm actually just going to restart my browser, the whole thing. Get fucked, Twitter. I don't need your shit. Not right now. All right. Back to business. So, oh yeah, so I was going to I was going to debug a pair of things. I was going to ask for the code and the key. Good. All right, so we're listening to the events, and that all seems good. The reason I wanted to attach this event listener to the body is because events in JavaScript, they bubble up, and what I mean by that is if you click on an element that's deep down in the structure of the document, the thing that you click on receives an element, receives an event for whatever the event is, right? So if it's a click, then the click event fires on this label. If there's a listener attached to it, and if there isn't a listener attached, the event starts to trace up all the way up this line. So it'll look at this div, it'll look at this list item, it'll keep going up to the unordered list, div. Does anything have an event listener on it? Maybe, no. And then it gets all the way up to the top body. And so by attaching an event listener all the way up here, it doesn't matter what I'm clicking on, that event is eventually going to find its way up there. Whereas if I registered the event listener on like one of these lists or the tabs themselves, it's possible that the event would be fired by a sibling, and it wouldn't hit my listener. So like with the tabs up here and then the tab content down here, if I was attached to the tab content and the browser thought my focus was up in this top div, I'd lose those events. I wouldn't catch them in my listener. So that's why I'm going all the way up to the top. And I don't think I'm going to lose anything by doing that. Yeah, I think that's okay. So overall, my plan is to basically listen for arrow key events and do one of several things, right? So I want to be able to switch tabs. I want to be able to move up and down the list of items. So that's either the zones or the collectible items. I want to be able to kind of move up and down. I want to be able to interact with an item, and so the interactions are going to be different in each case. So if I interact with zones, that's switching the active zone, and if I interact with items, it's going to be to toggle the collected state. So the interactions are going to be slightly different each time, and I may not get through this entire list. Some of these are going to be big. In fact, I'll be lucky if I get switch tabs going. I think that's doable in this session. I don't plan to stream very long tonight since I started so late. I had stuff to do. Busy day. And this one is kind of bonus, right? So so if I make these item groups collapsible, I'd want to be able to do that via the keyboard navigation. And I'm thinking that I would use left and right anywhere within a group. I think that's how that would go. Maybe. Left and right would be overloaded a little bit. So I have to think about that. But I'm thinking, we'll see. We'll see. I need to come up with a game plan for that. But for right now, left and right are gonna at least switch whatever the active tab is. Yeah. Okay. So to that, I need to do a little bit of research with the tabs in semantic. On tab change, okay, and active index. So active index is interesting. Active index is interesting. So the reason it's interesting is if active index is capable of controlling the tabs, I wonder if the default click handlers are going to break unless I also implement something to update the value. So if I say active index is 1, like hard code it, okay, all right, interesting. If I now say it's 0, great, I can't change it. And so if I combine it with on tab change, let's see. And so I also want data, which is a second parameter. So this is non-standard. Data.activeIndex. Okay. Well, I guess I want to see all of data, so I'll dump that out as well. So that's 1 and that's 0, and the UI doesn't update, but this callback is receiving what would change, and that closes the gap. That's the missing piece. Right, because if I Yep. What I'm thinking of here, the reason I just went silent, is what I really want to do is I want to start reporting the active tab to the Redux store. And I'm not sure I will. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. The reason I'm a little iffy on this is because normally I would want the thing receiving data from the store to be, how do I say it, connected. So using the connect, let's see, using the connect function here, which exposes properties from the store to a component. Now, because the tabs that would be receiving this active index is directly a child of provider here, I mean, I guess I could just connect the tab right here and now, and that'd be okay, I guess. Well, there are a bunch of different ways that I can handle this. The first one is to move my provider and store up to be the parent of app. I've been getting into the habit of trying to leave index.js as vanilla as possible, so basically leaving it as is after create React app does its thing. And so I didn't want to get my store creation happening in here. I wanted to do it in app and kind of treat app as user land. That's where my customizations are going to happen. But yeah, so what I can do is I guess I can connect it right here. It seems a little off to me, but let's see where I can import this from. I think I cheated on the other one. Yeah, I imported from the top level, which I dislike. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, back in business. So yeah, so the other thing I can do is actually I can pull this out. I can pull it out entirely. And I can connect it in its own file. Or I can do it right here, I guess. Yeah, this is all kinds of crazy wrong. So So let's scrape up all the imports. So that's kind of the gist. So the panes are going to come out. So here's my wrapped tabs. And so I should be able to map in whatever info I want now. My tab change has got to come through here. Yeah. And really, this is going to end up turning into an arrow function so that I can use it from inside my tabs so that it'll have access to props right here. So I can do dispatch stuff. And so what else? I need a function for mapping state to props. And do I need any state, actually? I do. I do need state. I need a active tab. Which I will add. Yep. Yeah, okay. And I will also need to import my action creators. I really wish it would just stick with the single quotes, but that would be too much. I guess the other thing I could do is just submit and just start using double quotes everywhere, but I'd rather not. So, okay. So I got the map state, I got the action creators in here. So let's double check, make sure that this stuff is still communicating. Yeah, it looks like it. So there are a couple of things that I can think about here. This reducer that I'm about to add and the action types and everything else, I could split a bunch of this up and have a separate reducer and a separate store key for tabs versus active item. But I'm almost feeling like having a single key. Active zone. I could move that in there. That could be a part of it. I mean, it probably should be. Well, we'll see how this goes. So the question is what to call this. This is about what is this? This is I almost want to call it like view state, but that has such a negative connotation thanks to, you know, .NET stuff. So yeah, what if I just call it view? Such a weird name for it though. And I say in here active tab, we'll default it to 0. And active collectible, we'll do null for this one, because it's probably going to be possible that it's probably going to be possible that there would be no selection. That seems right. Same with category. Active zone, I'll put it in here, and that's probably going to be confusing, but I'll think about it. Active zone being null was already significant because that was the representation of none over here, right? Oh, I can't see it because I still haven't wired up this stuff. So we'll make that job number 1. Okay. So we've got this view key that is going to require a reducer. And so there's going to be a bunch of stuff that can change here. So let's see. I guess we'll start with a switch like we usually do. And default, as per usual, is going to be just to return the same old state. So I guess we're going to make up some action types on the fly here. Case action type. What do we want? Tab changed. I'll group these by view. View tab changed. Okay. So what else changes? Let's look at the initial state again. Okay, so actually I'm gonna shorten these. Still very unsure about, yeah, so I don't think category changed is I don't think this is going to be a thing, to be honest. The category is going to be determined by whatever the item is, right? So as I use my arrow keys to move up and down the list, I would be here, 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 and then I would jump down to the next one. And then if I have an expand collapse navigation key, the group is going to be determined by whichever item is currently active. So I don't need to worry about whatever the category is, because the item will tell me. And I would probably have something more like categories, which would be an array, or an immutable set. Yeah, I mean, that makes some sense. And so this is probably going to change. Like collapsed categories. If I start it, with everything open, I feel like I would want to start it with everything collapsed. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So, okay. Well, I'll punt on that for right now. We'll see how I do with the rest of the stuff. Just trying to focus. Right. Okay, so when the tab changes, What do we get? We get active index. All right. So the action will have a tab index. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. So let's see. I had a buddy who was dealing with some of this stuff earlier, and he was into using REST spread syntax for this. I tend to use object assign, but we'll see. I guess maybe, how does it work? It's like that, I think. So I copy all the props, all the properties off of the existing state, and then I can override tab with something like that. Okay, I guess that could work. So zone. I guess I could standardize on. No, I won't be using zone IDs. I'll be using or zone indexes. It's a little interesting. So the question is, and I can't look at my zone list, but the question is, will I be using index order to navigate the list? Probably. Probably. I wonder if that's going to bite me somehow. I'll do it based on index, and I will just need to be sure that my data is sorted correctly before it goes into the store. And so what does that mean? Yeah. So zone picker, I'm doing a sort somewhere, sort by ID. I have to know the order if I'm going to do it this way. Or I can fake it, I guess. I can, never mind. Just never mind. I was going down the rabbit hole there, but it's fine. Totally fine. I'll work that out later. So I think this is how we would do it. So we got tabs, zones, and collectibles. And this is all about selective state. The tabs are probably no, the tabs and the zones are going to work the same way. Moving through the list is going to constitute a selection, whereas the collectibles view is going to be like focus. And selection is the toggle state, which is handled kind of differently. So we'll see if all of these match or fit together or not. I don't know yet. So reducers are set. Back to actions. Close this out. So what about actions? Oh, I actually forgot a step here. And I should alphabetize these, but yeah. Okay, so with actions, I need something to update view tab, I guess. Huh. I could do update view and have the thing that I'm updating the view for be a parent. No. I want a concrete. I want a concrete function per thing. That's how I feel. And these can be immediate, I think. I wonder if I lose some flexibility there. So actually I can do it's overkill. I've got this weird symmetry thing going on now. Yeah, because update view tab updated, update tab view. Naming this stuff is tough. And in fact, it's easily one of the easiest places for me to grind my gears in doing a Redux setup is the fact that you have to name so many small things. Yeah. There's so many things to name. Okay, so I think pretty much everything is in place at this point. I've done all the plumbing. I just need to call it, basically. And so to do that, I would call props update tab view with the index, and maybe, oh wait, no, we're not quite there. We need view tab. That's what we want to expose as active tab. And so now, when I click here, nothing happens. That's a big disappointment. Huh. Well, let's check the Redux dev tools. Tabs updated. I bet I misnamed something. What did I do? Changed. I was doing changed. There we go. Back in business. I mean, changed works just as well, I guess. But all right. So, it seems like the spread was working. Although it's kind of hard to tell. And certainly I'm not losing my nulls, which is what I would be retaining there. So that's good. So now that I've wired all of that up and we're able to affect this with the mouse once again, back to the actual thing that I was trying to do. Okay. Which is to say, if the key code is equal to left, and this may be a little more brute force than I actually want, but and this certainly isn't going to be the way this table is going to work long term, but for right now, oops. We're going to update tab view to 0 if we do left, and 1 if we do right. Right. Store, not state. Which is really just a point of view, but it matters. So now, so what I'd like to know is if I can prevent sending the same value over and over. So I think I should be able to so I'll initialize the tab index. Yeah. So we'll do our test, and we'll see what tab index is. So I can ask the store to get state. I think that's legal. And so this is kind of like how you would look at this, the props in the store from outside of the connection mechanics that Redux, the React Redux library provides via the provider. And so this is like a snapshot of whatever the state is right now. And so I can say if state.view.tab is not equal to tab index, then we'll dispatch the action. Oh yeah, the linter is calling me out for not using triple equals, which is good. Okay. So this looks like that's working. It is not repeatedly sending events to my reducer. If I continue to tap the same direction where I'm at. Oh, that's interesting. So right, I just sent a undefined in because I used up and down. So what I can do is I can say tab keys are just up and down. And that way I'm restricting or not I wonder why. Oh, I bet it's... Nope, that is unexpected. Maybe I got maybe I got the key codes mixed up. Left up, right down. Did I not pay close enough attention? It said down arrow. That said up arrow. Show me again. What are the codes? 40 and 38. Oh shit, I'm an idiot. The everything was doing what it was meant to, but I just was pulling in entirely the wrong pair of keys. It's too late. Okay, so up and down are back to scrolling. And scrolling is something that I'm going to have to figure out once I get to the keyboard nav for dealing with all these items. Right, because if I am highlighting different items in this list, then I need to know that when I approach the bottom of the viewport that I've got to scroll along to keep the thing visible. So that'll be a fun little challenge. It's something I hadn't really considered. I wonder size-wise. If I compress these a little bit, although I do want the font size to be a little bigger. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of scrolling. So okay. We got the tabs going, and that's great. I may do a little more work off stream to get the vertical navigation happening. Just because I don't really have a firm plan on a couple of aspects, like yeah, I guess so these are item keys, up and down are item keys, and so I would do another block here. Actually, I'll lift this out. I'll grab a snapshot of the state early on, and because I don't think that's expensive at all. Certainly not at the size of the store we have. So, but if item keys includes event key code, to do, look at current tab to know which list to alter, and then so switch tabs is done. I guess this is all what's happening here. Yeah, I guess that says it. I can move all of this inside of the if block, because I feel like so I'm gonna do an early return right here, just to simplify things and avoid having to start nesting multiple layers of if checks. We know that if the key that we're seeing a signal for is not one of these, then we don't care. We'll just return. Yeah. And that way we skip the get state entirely if the event doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's a good play. All right, so I got a bunch of to-dos, and potentially I'll do a little work towards these off stream or on. I don't know. It depends on how hectic my day is tomorrow. But at any rate, that's next up. I also, oops. Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. That's the big question mark for me. What am I going to do about the scrolling there and the visibility tests? I hate doing things that require me to calculate viewport positioning and whether things are in the frame or not. That's such a pain in my ass. Anyway, time to do a little diff read. So what's the gist? I moved all the tab stuff out into its own component. And then I added a bunch of keyboard handling to the app component. And technically I didn't add it to the app itself. I bound my event listener all the way up on body. Yep, I did that. And I still wonder if I can get away with not doing that. I don't think anything would change in terms of the callback. But I am scared of losing focus on the event, or on the app. So let's see. Maybe something like that. I don't know. Can I do that on the provider? I don't even know what the event is called in React speak. So let's see. On key down, on key press, on key up. Okay. I think I have this in my buffer already. So, oh, that's hot garbage. That didn't do anything. No error output. Yeah. Yeah, just doesn't do anything. So back to the drawing board. Great. Okay, so back to the top. tabs moved out, keyboard handling moved in. We're keeping the body event listener because, yeah, I don't know what that was. Maybe I missed something basic there, and like I typoed the event, or I don't know what. Or maybe I just needed like a wrapper div around the provider for some reason to bind to. That could be. But we'll stick with the body. That's fine. So oh right, yeah, and I also had this change, I guess, from last time, where I removed the toggle attribute from the checkboxes to make them look like checkboxes. I think that works. I like seeing the tick mark more than the slider, I think, for this anyway. Right, so here's the new tabs. This is a smart component. This is connected to the store. And so really, it's actually kind of overkill, right? Because each of these individually are connected, and so is this this tabs thing. So really, I could disconnect these and feed in whatever attributes from the store I wanted them to have. But it's fine. It's okay. Each of these has different property visibility. It's not a big deal. The thing to worry about while I'm thinking about it is we flip on through, are times where the parent component is subscribed to the same property as one of the child components. I don't think they have anything in common yet, or ever. They shouldn't ever. Tabs is only ever going to care about what the active tab is, which is going to be different from what the zone picker wants and what the yeah, they all want different things. But if you have the same dependency on multiple levels of the component hierarchy, then what you can see is out of order updates firing. Like, so a child component may update first with whatever that piece of data is, and then later the parent will, and so you'll see like a weird flip-flop back and forth as different components get on the same page, and that's no good. So I try to avoid that by making sure that they all are looking at different aspects of the store. So we got some new action creators, one for zones, tabs, and collectibles. Only tabs is being used currently. And here's the initial state to go along with that. Here's the reducer, pushing all the data back into the store as it flows through. And we added that single view reducer. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so yep. Adds keyboard navigation for switching tabs. And yeah. So there we go. All right, getting late. Wow, I still went an hour and 20, so that's, I mean, I think it's shorter than the last couple of sessions I did, but that's still pretty long. So I am gonna call it for right now. Yeah, I will for sure be back probably tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get a little closer to being finished. I'm still super anxious to get to play Metal Gear again, and I can't let myself play until I have this app done. I do not want to mess this run up, because I never want to try to get the King of the Jungle all 48 in a single playthrough again. Like, that's just, I want to do this once and never again. So, all right, thanks for watching. Hopefully the next little chunk will be a little more straightforward. We'll see. I guess this wasn't too bad. Yeah. Well, next time. Take care. Thanks for watching.